You don't just send us worm recipes and suggestions to boil banana peel. You also send us science questions. So here is a section we call Ask the Unexpected. We at Unexpected Elements are here to help, connecting you with scientists with the knowledge. And this week, David from the USA wants to know what causes airplane turbulence. On hand to answer David's question, we have Paul Williams, Professor of Atmospheric Science at the University of Reading in the UK, who's been studying turbulence for the past 20 years.
Any fluid, in other words, any liquid or any gas, has the potential to become turbulent. And what it is these swirling currents, which we call eddies. They're random and they're chaotic. And actually turbulence is known famously to be the hardest problem in physics. And it occurs in general whenever what we call the viscosity of the fluid, and that's simply a measure of how thick it is, how sticky it is, when this viscosity is too weak to drain the energy from the eddies. And so, for example, you're a lot more likely to find turbulence in your cup of tea or in your bathtub than in a jar of honey. Now, of course, there's turbulence in the atmosphere, all the way up to altitudes of 40,000 feet and higher, where this turbulence, of course, famously bumps aircraft up and down. And this aircraft turbulence is generated in three different ways. Firstly, we have rising warm air in clouds and storms. Secondly, we have air flowing over mountains. And thirdly, and my personal favourite, because yes, I am geeky enough to have a favourite kind of turbulence, what's called clear air turbulence, which is invisible, as its name suggests, and it's generated by instabilities in the high altitude air currents that we call jet streams. What's not good news is the recent suggestion from my research group that climate change is causing this clear air turbulence to get stronger and more frequent. The amount of clear air turbulence could double or perhaps even treble globally over the next few decades because of climate change. So the bad news, especially for nervous flyers, is that basically the more we sizzle on the ground, the more the climate changes, the more we're going to be shaking up in the air when we fly.
Thank you, David, for the question and Paul for solving it. Xavi Andrada, interesting that climate change, caused in part by emissions from flights, is going to make flights more turbulent. There's a kind of karmic justice there, given that we ought really to be flying less. Any turbulence horror stories to share?
Well, I actually don't mind turbulence. I enjoy roller coasters and Ferris wheels. I don't mind that sinking feeling in your stomach as you go up and down.
I also don't mind it.
Fair enough. I am clearly much more of a wuss than both of you.